So in the last video, I went through zip code assignment and creating your working tab. And so here, that's what we're working. We're in the workbook, and I've got my demo working tab here. So that's what I'll be compiling data on that one lonely billboard in Sunderland. So we're in the billboard locations. We're going to collect data on the location of the billboard. And first, we're going to start by going to the Lamar website. There is this map widget on the front of their website that pulls from Google Maps and has all of their products, all of their different mediums of advertising. So first thing we can do is go over into products and just unclick benches, shelters, bus rails, and bus routes. Our airports, we don't need any of those. We're just looking at bulletins, posters, digital, and junior posters. These are all things that we're referring to as billboards. So that's that. The first thing you can do is you can type in the zip code that you're working in over here. And if you don't remember what that is, just go back into the assignment tab, and this is here. So you're going to copy that billboard, and as soon as Zoom will let me go back into inventory, I'll do that. And you're going to go into here, and you're going to paste that, press enter, and in this case, it's just a single billboard right here in this zip code, but a lot of times you're going to have a whole lot more, and it's going to be a little bit hairier to try to suss them out. So just keep that in mind. And for example, I'll just go through what it's like reading these. If we look at zip code a little bit higher up in Greenfield, more north, there are 12 billboards in total in this zip code. So you've got 11 here and this other billboard over here. And you'll see that what they tend to do is the further you zoom out, the more billboards get clustered together. And so you have this circle with a number, and then you have these concentric circles around it. That means that there are several that are being smushed together. So if we zoom in more, you will see that now that 11 has turned into 2 here, 1 here, and then some over here. And there's that one over there. And if you now the circles are different, and they don't have those extra circles around them. And if they don't, it means you can click on them. And this is usually a case of a billboard that is a back-to-back ad. And so each of these are billboards, individual billboards, just like this and just like this. The color of the half circle indicates what kind it is. So we sell different products over here of bulletins, posters, whatever. We're not really concerned about that, just to let you know what it is. And the orientation of the half circle indicates what direction it's facing, just to give you some information of what it means. So for each of these, you can do is click on any one of them, and it brings up information. And what we're specifically interested is all going to be in photo sheet. So I'm going to back out of this really quick and go back. I just wanted to show you this zip code so you can see how things are mapped. But going back to the zip code that we are assigned for the demo, there's just this one over here in Sunderland. So I'm going to click on this guy and click on photo sheet. And this is going to have all the information that we need. And if we go to, so here is just a little quick thing. There's the panel number. There's a quick little tag label of that Lamar uses to identify them. There's a picture of it, some Google Map information, and then some data. If we go back to our workbook, and this is going into our working tab, I've frozen a couple of columns here because these two pieces of information are going to be things that I think you'll tend to refer back to most often as you're collecting data. You see you've got some information right here that we're going to pull from the Lamar photo sheets. We've got some extra information just about where it is and where you're collecting. If we scroll over more, we've got all these different years, and then we've got some school proximity. This means community center proximity. This is place of worship proximity and park proximity. And then Does it have a sidewalk or not? That's all the data we're pulling per billboard. And then what from mapping, and then we also have US Census data, which we'll get into later. Don't worry about that here. So for this one billboard in Sunderland, we are going to jump back here. And one of the first things we're going to do is copy this URL. That's something that we're going to refer back to, or can refer back to, just to confirm where we're at. So just copy that right in there. And then from Google Sheets, to be able to just jump back there as you're collecting data as needed. We're also going to collect latitude and longitude, which is down here, and that's the other piece of information that you're going to probably refer to a lot. And so for these two cases, these two columns, we actually want them to be links. It's nice just to be able to jump back there. And for latitude and longitude, that is the one here, I guess aside from view specs, but that's not important. But this is the one that we're pulling that actually is hyperlinked. And just so be mindful, just do the regular copy and paste. Don't just paste values. It's just good to have that there. Everything else, we want to just paste values. So for example, let's go to panel number, which is referred to differently in the workbook. So we're gonna just copy this. We'll go to our workbook. Go in the cell, and if you just regular copy and paste, you'll get it formatted like this, which is clunky, not awesome. There are a couple of ways to do it as values. You can do it that way, just if you're not familiar with doing this. And then you get this little drop down. You can do paste values only. That's one way to do this. A more direct way, a little easier way to do this is you either do control or command, whichever, if you're using Mac or PC, shift and then V. So either control shift V if you're using a PC, or command shift V for a Mac, and that will just automatically paste values only and not formatted. And that just, so we don't get a lot of clunky weird fonts and stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, the panel here, it's called a panel number here. We're referring to his Lamar ID there. So just to note, Lamar label is going to be this all caps thing here. Just copy that. It's not the most intuitive, descriptive label. So we'll also be adding some notes as we go, just colloquialisms, things if you are local to the area, you would know that, it's across the street from a Dunkin' Donuts, or it's across the street or like it's in Bank Row if you're in Greenfield, that kind of thing. So don't worry too much about that, but if you can put it in plain language that locals would understand, then cool. We're going to copy local weekly impressions here. Paste that there. We're going to get face and read too, which is the orientation that it's in. And that's it from the photo sheet. There are likely other pieces of information that are in the photo sheet that are of, that we might want later, but we can just always link back there. These are the pieces that we'll more likely use more immediately. So the rest of these zip code, I know that offhand is 01375 because I was just copying and pasting that, but you can always go back to assignment to find that. If you don't know what the city in town or the county is, don't worry. Just leave it blank. We can always go back and backfill those. But you can often find things like that in the advertising strengths. In this case, the posters. This poster is in Franklin County, the Franklin County town of Sunderland here. So we know this is in Sunderland. Sometimes that information is not as obvious or explicitly mentioned in the photo sheet. Again, if it's not there and you can't really figure it out, don't worry. I know this is also in Franklin County. And that's it. We'll get into more of the notes later. So you can leave that blank, or if you happen to have some notes about what it's near, then cool.